What's good, y'all? It's Taj Rockitt, aka Mr. Highly Motivated, baby. Here to get you motivated, baby, and we in here in my Pacific Beach apartment here in San Diego, California, and we here for Motivated Mondays, episode number 38, and we here to get your mind straight today, because today I'm asking you a question, and that question is, does this serve me? Now, this is a question that I'm asking you to ask yourself, along with me asking myself this exact same question of, does this serve me? Now, the reason why I'm bringing this question up into fruition, and for us to ask this and to really internalize this question for our future decision making and basically purchases and endeavors, is because I recently, with my girl Laura and I, we just cleared out the entire house with bags and bags and bags of Goodwill items that no longer served us. Now, I have recently been going through a life transition in terms of moving on from working for other people and working on for myself, and what I have found is I have accumulated a lot of things, a lot of thoughts, a lot of regrets, and just a lot of things in my life that no longer serve me. And what I realized is, us as humans, it's easy to accumulate and to carry on and to bring on things. But as we get older and as we grow and as we learn and as we mature and as we move on from, parts of our lives to other sections and basically ventures in our lives, it is difficult to let things go. So I believe this simple question of, does this serve me? Asking ourselves this simple question, I do believe it can really help us in the long run, letting things go and then opening the door to allow new things to come into our lives. Now, if you watched last week's episode, it was asking yourself literally to release the past. It was all about releasing the past and letting the past go. Now, if you are able to let the past go, or if you are able to identify things in your life or things that used to be a part of your life that are no longer helping you, if you're able to release those, then you may have asked this question of, does this serve me? Does this serve me? And how does it serve me? But does this serve me? If you're able to ask this question, you're going to be able to look at things. Let's say something as simple as items, right? So I went through my closet, went through my drawers, went through the cabinets, went through the cupboards, went through everything with Laura. It took us like 4+ hours to fill up our entire Nissan Rogue. But we literally had to ask ourselves as we grabbed each item, does this serve me? Is this any longer a part of my current life and where I'm headed? The answer for pretty much all the items was no. And we have found so much space and so much mental clarity, so much physical space, and just so many things in our lives that we let go that we're just like, how did we even allow this to not only take space in our apartment, but take space in our hearts and take space in our minds? Now, asking this simple question, something as, does this serve me? Does this serve me? It does a multitude of things. It lets you analyze and look at that piece of, let's say, the item, right? Let's say it's a shirt. I had some PCU, Portland City United, some old coaching shirts and a jacket, and they're all really nice. And I instantly look at them, I'm like, man, that's hundreds of dollars worth of clothing that I did get for free because it was I was working for the company, so on and so forth. But it was hard to let go because I had that emotional attachment. But I had to ask myself, does this serve me? The answer was no, because I'm no longer pursuing a soccer coaching career, right? I'm a triathlete. I'm building my online training business, just working for myself. And since I moved into that space, I realized that if I'm holding on to things that no longer represent me and no longer serve me and no longer reflect who I am and where I'm going, then it really is not helping me in any way. It's actually slowing me down and holding me back every time I look at that, because then I go through some mental thoughts of who I used to be. And then I start to compare myself to who I used to be. Well, I'm really just wasting time, wasting energy, and wasting mental space in that process. So what I found is, if you can let things go, just like I mentioned last week, release the past. If you can release the past and ask yourself these questions as you're releasing the past of, does this serve me? And if you say no, then let it go. If you say no, let it go. I'm telling you, I have recently, I let go of a job, and I don't know if you've been through this, I'm sure you have, but you let go of one thing, and then it's a trickle effect. It's like when you read a book, and then that book recommends another book, and then you end up buying 5 more books, because it's a trickle effect as well. But what I found is, if you can let go of one thing, or if you can ask that question, whether it's an item, right? Like it's Goodwill items, whether it's a jacket that you don't wear anymore. We moved here from Portland. We have all these jackets and sweaters and hoodies and vests. I don't wear vests. I don't even have arms. Like my arms gonna be cold. But I have all these things from Oregon that I no longer need in Southern California. So I had to ask myself, does this serve me? The answer is easily no. But when you look at your emotional attachment, it can be really difficult to let that go. But when you can use your logical brain instead of your emotional brain, and you can look at these things and say, they don't serve me anymore, this is no longer who I am or where I'm going or who I am becoming, then it's easy to let it go. And once it's gone, it's gone. So you don't have that, oh, I don't know, maybe. But if you already can answer the question with a direct no, this does not serve me, then you gotta let it go. And what you will realize is the moment you release those things, you have two options. You can look at the space and appreciate the space in which you create, or you can keep that space and have it open for something new to come into your life. Sometimes we just need more space. So we like to, I know I do, and I'm speaking for most of us because I know a lot of people in my life, it may be you, it may not, but we like to fill gaps. Whether it's conversations, it's hard to just have silence, right? It's hard to have silence, or you see a space in the room, you want to fill it up. You're writing a paper, you want to finish that last line. We as humans, we naturally want to fill emptiness because we're scared of being empty or having emptiness or having something reflect the feeling of emptiness. But within the emptiness is where realization comes in. Within the emptiness, the space is where clarity comes in. And within the space and the emptiness is where realization comes in. And the beautiful thing about that is when you create that space and you ask yourself about things of, does this serve me? When you ask that question with pure intention, with nothing but deliberate focus, then what you will realize is that question naturally answers itself, and it makes it easier to let things go. But if you continue to fight the realistic situation of asking yourself, does this serve me? And if it doesn't serve you anymore, then you know that you're holding on to something that literally is holding you back. But we have to realize that we are the ones that are holding ourselves back. Nobody is keeping us in any situation. No job. We are not required to continue to go into a job. If you continue to go into a job and you are absolutely miserable and you hate your life, yes, there are things that you need to pay for in terms of bills. But you can take active action steps to get yourself out of that situation and to get you into a new one. I personally put myself in a situation where I left the job and I have a couple month cushion on finances, and I am putting myself in a serious situation to force myself to create this business that I've been longing for, to create this freedom and this ownership of my life that I've been longing for and that I've been thinking and wanting for my entire life. I finally made that decision because I had to start asking myself this same question of, does this serve me? This job. You can ask this just like with Goodwill or getting rid of items. You can do the same thing with your job. Does this serve me? How does this serve me? Is it serving me in the way that I want to be served? And what you have to realize is if you're not serving yourself, it is almost impossible to help and serve others. So you have to take care of you, because without taking care of you, it is pretty much impossible to help others. So even with your job, ask yourself, is this serving me? Yes, of course it's paying my bills. Yes, of course it's allowing me to put food on the table, but is it serving me? Is it serving my heart, my soul? Is it feeding my inspiration? Is it feeding my desire to be better, to be a better human? Am I helping inspire others to be better humans? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves, because in life, it's not about a dollar sign. It's not about getting that new Benz. It's not about getting those new shoes. It's about having a meaningful life and being somebody that other people can look up to, that can come to, and that can be helpful. But if it doesn't serve you, then it's not going to help you become better to help others be better. And in reality, inspiration, that's what we all want to be for other people. And we look for other people so we can be inspired. But if you're not serving yourself through your work, whether with your items, if you're not serving yourself with your time, in your relationships, not even just work. What about your relationship? Whether it's your partner, your girl, your guy, whether it's your friends, whether it's your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, does this serve me? And sometimes, life, it's just like seasons, right? It's spring, fall, winter, summer, so on and so forth. We have relationships that are just seasonal, right? And sometimes it serves you for a season, for a reason. But sometimes you have to let that season change and that relationship changes, which means your interaction with that person may change as well. And you may have to, at the end of a season, quote unquote, of a relationship, you may have to ask yourself, does this serve me? You have to ask that question consistently, because you can't just ask it once and then, just pretend like it's all gravy, it's all good, because things change, people change. We are built to change. Change is the only guaranteed thing in life, but you have to continue to reflect. Don't neglect reflecting, right? Don't neglect to reflect. Don't neglect yourself and not ask the hard questions. The hard questions are what's going to make life easier. But if you always go for the easy route, you're going to make a long-term difficult situation. Things will be harder if you don't deal with the hard stuff now. It's guaranteed to be harder later, right? So you have to ask yourself, does this serve me? Does this serve me? This relationship that I'm in, is it beneficial? Am I helping them, or is it a yin and a yang? Am I just giving to them? Are they just giving to me? Or am I just taking? Are they just taking? Right? Are they energy vampires? Am I just taking from them? It should be mutually beneficial. But if it's not, does this serve me? Am I serving? Can I be of service? See, these are other questions that just stem off the simple question of, does this serve me? But you have to be willing to serve, and you have to give yourself what you deserve in order to serve, and you have to be served the way that you deserve in order to serve. You see what I'm saying? It's one big loop. We are all one big interconnected humanity. But you have to serve yourself in order to serve others. So I'm telling you, whether it's with your items, with the things in the house, right? This couch, does it serve me? Yes, it serves me just fine. I'm able to sit, I'm able to lay, I'm able to do whatever I need. These shorts, do they serve me? Yes, they fit, they hold my keys, my wallet. Yes, this shirt, does it serve me? Yes, I can't wear cotton, I sweat too much. I need that wicking fabric, right? that wick. You know what I'm saying? It serves me. So you have to ask yourself, do these pillows, they serve me? Yes, I can rest my head. Oh, they're so soft, they're so nice, they serve me. But there are things like I had extra jackets. It's 100 degrees out. I don't need more jackets. I got 3 jackets. I don't need 5. So I'm able to release some. They no longer serve me. Now I'm allowing those jackets to go to Goodwill and help serve somebody else, right? There's a trick that you can do with your things in your closet, by the way. You can turn your hooks around, right? You can, your hangers, you can put them in backwards. And if you see in like 6 months to a year that you haven't pulled out a hanger, and every time you pull out a hanger, you flip it back so you know that you've used that piece of clothing. If you've looked in 6 months to a year and it hasn't switched around, it's probably time for you to let that go because it's no longer serving you. It's the same thing with items, whether it's things in your kitchen. Am I using this pan? Is it doing a service? No, but it can help somebody else. Same thing with the job. If you are at a job and you are absolutely miserable and it is killing you, it's killing you inside, and you're noticing that your misery is starting to bleed onto others. That's happened to me multiple times when I've overstayed my welcome at a job or in a relationship or so on and so forth. What happens is we become cancerous. We become a carcinogen, right? We become somebody that's like, oh, this place sucks, and you're telling people, and other people are brand new, and it's serving them well. It's a great job for them. It's a great growth opportunity. They're learning, they're growing. You're on the way out, but other people are on the way in. What you got to realize is we don't want to infect those others with that negativity or with where we're at in life. We're all in different stages, but we don't want to poison somebody else's stage just because we're on a different part of ours, right? So you also have to recognize, am I affecting other people? Am I hurting other people by me also hurting myself by not being able to let go? So if you can just ask that logical question, does this serve me? Then the emotional part becomes so much easier to release that job. You might have been there 5-10 years and you got that emotional attachment with your coworkers, and you get used to going down the same street, and life's easy because you got it down to a T. That's when life's scary, because when you feel complacent, you feel settled, that's when you need the change, because that's how you create the long-term change for you to get long-term gains. You know what I'm saying? Does this serve me? Does this serve me? I'm telling you, you deserve to have everything that you deserve, right? And what I've realized is our life, we are literally in the driver's seat. We choose where we go and how we grow. But if you get stuck and you want to be in that rut, you're going to be in that rut for as long as you allow yourself to be in that rut. And that rut doesn't serve you, and it's impossible to help serving others if you're stuck. Because how are you going to help somebody else be something other than stuck if that's all you know is being stuck? So be willing to ask yourself this question. It's not easy, but I know it sounds easy to ask, and it technically, quote unquote, is easy to ask. It's 4 words. Does this serve me? It's 4 words, but those 4 words can literally change your life. It will make you look at something in its face, whether it's your emotions, whether it's your habits, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your job, whether it's whatever it is in your life. It will make you look at it right in its eyes. And it will make you really, really ask yourself. And you might not like the answer. No, it doesn't serve me, but I need this. I need this. Do you? Do you need that spatula? Do you need that bowl that your ex-girlfriend from 10 years ago gave you? Do you need that? You don't. Do you need that jacket that your long-lost grandma, she wouldn't even want you to have that. She wants you to have something new. You know what I'm saying? So ask yourself, does this serve me? And if the answer is no, you gotta let it go. And that's a great way to release the past, like I mentioned last week. And that's a great way for you to open your heart, open your mind, open your soul, and allow amazing things to enter your life. If you can release the past, you can ask the simple question, which is also a very loaded and difficult question of, does this serve me? And if you can give a strong no and you can start to let things go, what you will find is the moment you start to let things go, Yes, it's going to be hard, and yes, there's going to be space, and there may create a little bit of uneasiness and some emptiness, and some deep feelings might start to come up. But guess what? You're going to start to address them. And those things that you always suppressed, I've been through this myself, whether it was just from trying to be overly athletic, overly exercise too many hours, whether I'm trying to work extra, whether I'm trying to drink, whether it's smoke. I've been through it all. Trust me, we've all done it. We all do it. But the moment you stop running from those deep, dark feelings, and you ask yourself about simple things, because procrastination, that's really you just trying to avoid something that you know is the inevitable, right? That's all procrastination is. We all procrastinate in some way, and some of us like to label ourselves as procrastinators, but we're not really procrastinators. We're really good at avoiding to deal with the real. But the moment you ask those questions, does this serve me? And if you can answer no and you can let it go, you open up space for you to deal with those deep, dark, painful things. But the sooner you deal with those, the sooner you get to the light, the sooner that you create the life that you've always been looking for, that you've always wanted, and that you always knew you deserved, but you just felt unworthy. And I know what it feels like to feel unworthy. I do. I understand what it feels like. But you are worthy. You are enough. And you do deserve to have everything you have always wanted. But you have to ask the hard, the easy, and the straight up question of, does this serve me? It all starts with that internal, deep reflection. And for you to really look in the mirror and ask yourself, does this serve me? And if the answer is no, I'm telling you, let it go. Whether it's items, whether it's a relationship, whether it's an activity or work, whether it's a habit, right? If it doesn't serve you, and be real with yourself, because you might be like, no, be real with yourself. You will realize the moment you do that, and the moment you keep it real with yourself and you let those things go that are no longer of service, you can then be of service, not only to yourself, but to others. And you will discover that the life that you want is literally right there. It's right there waiting for you to grab it. But it's hard to see things when other things are in your way, especially when they no longer serve you. And if they're blocking you, you got to be real with yourself to get them out the way. You know what I'm saying, baby? So ask yourself that question. Does this serve me? And the moment you do, you will realize that you will make it through and you are going to do everything that you've always wanted to. You know what I'm saying, baby? Once again, it's Taj Rockitt, aka Mr. Highly Motivated. Here to get you motivated here in my apartment here in PB. Hey, man, turn off that TV, look in that mirror and ask yourself, does this serve me? Does this item, does this relationship, does this habit, does this job, does it serve me? And if the answer is no, just let it go, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's Taj Rockitt, aka Mr. Highly Motivated. Motivated Monday, episode number 38. Told you we're going to get your mind straight. I'm telling you, it's never too late. So migrate, and if you're thirsty, hydrate. You know what I'm saying, baby? I'll see y'all next time. Different location. Same energetic motivation, baby. Holla.